Alright, gentlemen, what we're going to attempt to do today is just show the difference between economy ammo and what may not be considered economy ammo. Yes, we've got two versions of double-aught buck here, and we got two versions of slug ammo for shotgun, both 12 gauge. So with this 12 gauge ammo, both are rifled slugs. One is designated as low recoil, and I've got a case of 250 of these particular slugs. These are 1 ounce rifled slugs. They're called bala slugs, reminiscent of the Brenke type slug. And then I've got some Remington 7/8 ounce rifle slugs here. And so anyway, we'll get into the composition of both the different slugs. The economy slug here, 250 rounds for $180, and if you do the math, that's less than $1 a slug. Much less, actually. It's about 60 cents a slug. So low recoil, these are 1200 feet per second. The energy is much less than this 7/8 ounce slug. These guys are really moving. Let's see if they have, I don't think they have the velocity on here. I believe it's 1700 feet per second. Yeah, I mean it's a fast mover. It's really cracking along. And then we'll check out the difference between this Herter's Defense double-aught buck, and it's 2 3/4 inch. All of these rounds are 2 3/4 inch, and this is their Home Defense double-aught buck. I can't focus that close. And then this is some Federal double-aught buck, and if you'll notice, this one here is packed with what I assume to be a Grex-like material. I didn't taste it to see if it's salt, but it is, you know, it has a certain consistency to it that is much like salt. That I do not want to get this into the mechanical workings of my camera. So let's dig into it, shall we? Yeah, I forgot that this particular round here was not simply double-aught buck. It's this Herter's rounds, very reminiscent of the PDX-1 that comes with a rifled slug, and it's followed by 3 buck. However, this one has a musket ball and it's followed by 6 rounds of double-aught. The Federal double-aught buck is just that. It is double-aught. Now, I don't know what we can learn from this. The view. If we look at one of these double-aughts, and then one of these, just trying to get an idea of the quality of the actual shot. I gotta say that this here shot looks pretty shiny. It's much smoother, and it's packed with all that. I know white on white That's not ideal, is it? So this has that Grex material. It's supposed to give you tighter groups, and I guess if they sit there and advertise it that way, it must be so. But I don't know. So here, I'm going to try to keep the shadows out of the shots. Here we have this Herter's, and this was about $1 a shot. Like I said, it's marketed as home defense. It comes with this enormous ball. It's pretty sweet. I will definitely have to make some video of how this patterns, and I've got a range that will let me shoot it at boxes at different ranges, but they won't let me shoot at their targets, because obviously the shotgun tears their targets up, is what they said. So anyway, so here we have what could be considered an economy home defense round. And I know, I apologize guys, I thought this was apples and apples, but it is apples and oranges. This is, I wouldn't want to say this is some sort of novelty round at all, because I mean, that's serious. Muskets were extremely lethal, and you know, at home defense ranges, ouch. That's kind of brutal. You have to agree that having that 62 caliber musket ball and then 6 double-aught buck, you know, backing it up, that's pretty nasty. Over penetration, I'm thinking you probably have that to consider. But knockdown power, I would trade in three of these little pellets for that guy right there. Yeah. Now, this was an open top. You can see it. This ball here just set in there like that. So, being that that's the way that is, I guess that may be why they didn't have the Grex or packing material in there. Whatever. I'm not a huge fan of it because I haven't used it. So when I start doing some tests, I will do apples and apples, and I'll do 2 3/4 inch double-aught buck in economy rounds with these, as compared to these Federals, and let you know exactly how they pan out. You know, and you'll be able to tell with shot patterns what you prefer, and I'll try to get some recoil shots too, so you can see what's more controllable. Do some fast follow-ups and things like that. So anyway, sorry for the confusion here. Alright, this is the Remington 7/8 ounce rifled slug. I'm assuming it is equivalent, or at least equatable to a Foster slug. It looks very similar to me. It seems to have a coating on it that is not lead, like a almost like a wolf round. Oh, that's lead. Maybe it is. I'll eat that later, don't worry about it. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought it had some sort of epoxy coat on it, but I guess not. So anyway, there's your 7/8 ounce slug, and the rest of the housing. So I pull this little plastic, this slug stacked up on top of that. That's how I made my cut, was right between those two. And then you've got your wadding in there, paper wadding, and it's thick. I mean, it's down into the brass, so I don't want to dig it out and then deal with the powder. But this is a high velocity load here. It's moving, so so that's the Remington round, high velocity 7/8 ounce slug. And over here we have the Rio Star. It is a bala slug, much like a Brinky. And I took my knife here and pressed into the back. I pressed the back of the knife into the slug to test the hardness of this lead here, because these are sharp, pretty sharp edges. And at first I was like, oh man, I don't want to scratch my barrel up. And then, I woke up and I was like, oh, I bet the steel that the barrel is made out of is, probably harder than this lead. So anyway, I just had a moment where I was kind of like going, and this is the paper wadding in here, so you could see right off the bat that there's much less powder in this slug. It says 1200 feet per second. I think it says low recoil, and I believe it is 1200 or 1300 feet per second on a 1 ounce slug, which is still deadly. I wouldn't want to. I'll pick a 22 over this. If I have to get shot with something, shoot me with a 22. I'll swap out. But anyway, this will be interesting to see how much fun it is to shoot. It seems like it should be much like birdshot. The velocities and the payload are very similar. So, physics say it should be close to the same. And it was nice high brass stuff. So if you reload shot shells and you keep your shells here to reload, this looks like some pretty nice brass to keep around. If that comes into play, then bravo. This stuff's cheap, like I said, about 60 cents a round. Can't beat that. So look for this video in the future of me shooting things, soft targets with this, and enjoy. I hope you will. So anyway, there's just a little quick comparison of some different what can be considered premium and discount shot shells, and we'll get some performance views of them in the near future whenever I go to the farm. Alright, take it easy.